Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy snow day. I'm glad that you guys are all here. I hope you're all warm wherever you're watching this from. This show is recorded in the Denver metro area of Colorado. And let me tell you, we went from nice weather the last couple days to rain all day yesterday to I think I'm rocking about 8 inches of snow, if not a little bit more in my yard right now. Trees are bending. It looks pretty bleak out there currently. I definitely think the plants and all the vegetation was ready for springtime. And poof, we get a May 6th snowstorm. That's pretty crazy. Uh, Kids even got a snow day, all sorts of stuff. Before we get into the snow day and stuff like that, though, real quick, as always, I'll put the little socials bubble down here. Just like, follow, share, and subscribe. But most importantly, right now, guys, as much as I hate to harp on it, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's start to boost that up a little bit. The higher I get, I'll be able to do like lives and stuff from my phone. They have some pretty weird tools and stuff like that to prevent you from being able to be mobile as a creator. And so much of my life is mobile that it would be really awesome to be able to do mobile stuff and all of that sort of thing. So subscribe to this channel right now. Just click subscribe right below. Hit the bell so you can get some notifications. The Uncharted Podcast Network is calling your name. Go ahead, subscribe to it right now. All right, great. I'm glad that you did that. Thank you so very much. Hopefully I get to see that number climb the ladder a little bit. And with all the socials, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Instagram, go like, follow, share, and subscribe to all of those right now so that you're always in the loop when I'm doing Uncharted territory, which is what's happening right now. We're back in Uncharted territory. I'm really excited for the second episode of Uncharted territory, and it starts crazy, right? Because it starts with a snow day. Snow day in May? That's nuts, right? Global warming's not real. There's no way. There's no way global warming is real. It's cold out there right now. There's no way. I just wanted to get that out of the way, right? Because there's always going to be somebody who's like, global warming is not a real thing. It's a real thing, all right? It's real. Climate change is real, and this shows it, right? There have already been days in Colorado this year that we've reached the 90s. Most of the ski resorts have closed down prior to this weekend because they had record low snowpack, and that's like literally half of our state's economy is skiing, and the other half is marijuana. So, it's crazy that we're getting snow just before Mother's Day. And for me as a plant vendor, Mother's Day is our Super Bowl. So currently we're sitting in a weather delay. And hopefully, I know the rest of my week is going to be insanely busy. But hopefully the plants all survive. I feel like my stores and stuff took precautions. But again, winter weather in May is crazy to me. And I can't tell you the last time I remember, this late of a snowstorm in Colorado. I remember a handful of years ago, maybe a little longer, a weird freak snow dusting in like mid-July, which was kind of wacky, obviously, because it's July, and in July in Colorado, it's normally 105 degrees, 0% humidity, so it's just dry, sun beating down on you heat. But yeah, it's pretty crazy out there right now. I don't know, like it's still snowing. It's been snowing for a full day at this point. It rained a full day prior to that. Yeah, kids got a snow day though. My kid's school district actually backed up its out time. So like its last day of school was originally like the 30th of May. Now it's like, they changed it to the 28th because they hadn't gotten to use so many of their allotted snow days. And I mean, literally just as the snow was starting yesterday, we got the text message from the school district that they were closing today. So they had them banked and they were like, whatever, we'll just let the kids have an extra day. Why not? Like, my kid's obviously happy about it. He's currently watching some cartoons, playing some toys, and I really hope that you guys, again, out there are staying warm, staying inside, hopefully, if you're in bad weather, and if you're in nice weather, go outside, enjoy it, have a great time. It's middle of the week. We're always happy to get to hump day at the midweek point, it means you're halfway there. You're halfway to, margaritas and tacos on Friday or whatever it is that you want to do, right? Whatever ends your work week. And I'm looking forward to ending my work week. But the problem for me is, again, plant vendor, Mother's Day, Super Bowl, essentially. I'm probably not going to get a real day off until like a week from this upcoming Sunday. So it's going to be a grind. But at the end of that grind, I can't wait to be done with the hecticness and on to more fun pieces of my job. The busier times are never that fun, but it'll be good to get through it and feel rewarded by that, and to move on to the next thing, just like we're gonna do right now. What's next for us outside of the snow day is the New Day. Yes, it is. Let's talk real quick about the New Day, as well as Tongaloa and JC Mateo being released from WWE. And I've heard kind of mixed things at this point. It seems like the New Day weren't necessarily released. And if they were released, it was kind of by choice. It seems like what's been happening and what I've kind of been understanding is that TKO has been pulling in a lot of these, super high value contracts and have been trying to renegotiate down off of those to more affordable numbers. I've heard speculations that it's because, now everything is TV. They're not doing house shows as frequently as they once were. Everything is streaming. They're doing PLEs, all sorts of stuff like that, right? So they only need a limited roster because you only need enough people to fill the seats for TV or for streaming or whatever it is that you're doing. And it sounds like, especially in the case of somebody like Roman Reigns, who I've heard is rumored to be on the list of people who were TKO was trying to renegotiate with. If you're in that, he's already kind of part-time. He has probably the largest active contract currently in the company, and it sounds like the company doesn't see value in having such a high contracted situation for somebody who's not there all the time. And while he might be there all summer, minus the fact that he was just taken off of all the June events, I think that obviously comes with, if he's renegotiating his contract, he's not going to commit to anything until he knows exactly what he's dealing with, exactly what that negotiation looks like, exactly what the outcome is going to be. Of course, he's pulled his dates and stuff like that to try to make sure that everything on his end is taken care of. Does this look blurry to you? It looks kind of blurry to me. Let's see if I can try to check that up a little bit. Okay, it's a little better. Either way, yeah, I think that's the situation, right? Is Roman's going to negotiate his deal. He's not going to be at every Raw if his future with the company is in question. And I don't blame him for that on any level. These guys want to get paid, right? Like, they went from a time, WWE especially went from a time where money wasn't guaranteed, and you were making money per event and your pay was really low, and you didn't have very good benefits and all sorts of stuff like that. So like now these guys have a lot of guaranteed money contracts. So of course when you're making Roman Reigns money and you're being asked to take less, you're probably more apt to either walk or to just hardball say no, don't show up, do the stuff. They're obligated to fill these contracts, and even if they release you, they have to pay you out. So the risk is more on TKO's part than anything. But the New Day, it sounds like, they took their ball and they went home, but that's not me saying that in a negative sense. They know their value. They're an institution. The New Day's been around since 2014 at this point, if not a little earlier. And they are the most decorated tag team in WWE history at this point when it comes to titles. Of course, they have a big contract. Which last I heard, they had signed a new contract last year. TKO obviously trying to renegotiate out of that specific contract. And then the New Day decided that their value was worth what their original contract was worth, which why wouldn't you think that? You negotiated into that deal, and of course you'd want to keep that deal. TKO disagreed, and it sounds like the New Day decided that disagreement was a slight to everything that they'd brought to the table, and they're going to leave, and they're going to go elsewhere. It would not surprise me to see a rebranded New Day in AEW, in TNA, someplace like that, and they're going to be an instant hit. They're going to be instant tag champions. Those guys still have a lot of gas in the tanks. Xavier and Kofi are great competitors, and I think it'll be interesting to see where they go and what they do from here. I've heard rumors that this could also be because of Xavier's prior relationship with Paige, and now Paige being back. I think that's just gross speculation. if you had a nickel, like especially the female talent and stuff, they all have OnlyFans, they all have stuff like that. So if you had a nickel for every time talent has probably crossed paths with other talent outside of the company in adult ways, it's probably fairly likely that it happens quite frequently. And I would hazard a guess that leaving an entire gig where you're an institution because of a previous relationship that went wrong, that just seems like a stretch to me. I'm going with they know their value and they stuck by their guns and off they went. So good on them. Tongaloa and JC Mateo from the MFTs also released. I don't know if that's specifically because of contract negotiations or if they were just budget cutting by cutting those guys. But my thing with those is the same that I felt about Alistair last week and Kyrie last week, and it's when these guys are in stories, like the MFTs were part of stories and they were building towards they're about to do things with Jacob Fatu as Jacob pursues the World Heavyweight Championship from Roman Reigns. Like you're building these programs with these guys and then all of a sudden they're just gone. At least back in the day, like, I mean, if somebody got, like, blatantly fired, sure, that would happen. But for the most part, people would finish their programs and they'd be out. And like I said last week, WWE used to do a series of cuts where it was, like, spring, so you kind of get one in May, essentially. And then they did one just pre-Christmas, as ludicrous as that sounds, right? But they used to have those, so you can kind of tell, like, you'd get to the end of these packages and these stories, and then you could cycle people kind of in and out. TKO's not doing that. TKO is just cutting talent or negotiating with talent that feel like they have stock still and losing talent because of how frustrated they are that they're being renegotiated with. And I saw Jonathan Coachman actually say this on SiriusXM yesterday. This is actually all going to blow up in their face, right? Because his opinion is kind of what I said, and that's that they're building a roster specifically for TV. They're building a roster specifically for PLEs and for whatever limited on-air time you have now, NXT, SmackDown, Raw, and then PLEs. They're building the roster to just fit those because they don't need a 110 person roster if they're not using 110 people. With that being said, though, you're going to get injuries. Injuries are going to pop up. Who's in your dugout? Who's hanging out in the locker room ready to go if you've cut all the additional talent, right? And I understand you don't want to have slews of talents on the books, which is I think AEW's biggest flaw is they have a roster that is a million guys deep. They can never utilize them all. They have 1,000 titles because you have to try to make everybody kind of important in some way, or at least put them in a picture where they look important. That's a flaw to me. And WWE was less than that. They had 50 people or whatever on their roster. But now when you start to chip away at those things, if somebody like a Cody gets injured or a Punk gets injured or a Roman gets injured, an Oba gets injured, heaven forbid, all of a sudden you start to find yourself back against the wall, and they're either going to call up NXT talent way too soon, which this round of NXT call-ups following WrestleMania was massive. Ethan Page, Sol Ruka, the women's tag team, I can't remember who that is off the top of my head. JC Jane. They do all these big call-ups. They leave the NXT roster kind of straight, and even NXT took a bunch of cuts so that they could bring in a bunch of indie guys to kind of fill those, including Evil, which is Io Sky's husband. They're doing these things, but at the end of the day, what's going to happen is they're going to run out of roster space. And not like in a max capacity, in a least capacity. They're going to have injuries, and they're not going to have subs to fill in. And that's going to make the show look so bad. It's going to make the company look so bad. And right now, TKO is doing an abysmal job. AWWE's product is awful. Right now, it's not fun to watch. It's very predictable. Everything is the same. The stories are the same. It's not that fun to watch, right? When you go outside of that, I just don't know. TKO itself is doing a really bad job of this product, and maybe they're too worried about, UFC fights on the White House lawn, but what I do think is happening is that they are in Scrooge McDuck mode right now, where the cash is coming in, they're getting all the PLE money, they're getting all the sponsorship dollars, because their live TV product has 8,000 commercials, but 4 matches. Like, they're getting all of these Netflix money, whatever's left on Peacock, they're still getting paid for that. They have all the YouTube Vault stuff, And then you have SmackDown, Raw, NXT, like all of these things. The old school WWE network just officially folded like 2 weeks ago in the UK. They were still using the OG network in the UK until like 2 weeks ago. So like they had all this revenue coming in, and then that now they're in. Well, we're getting all this money. We don't want to give any of it back. And if you don't pay your talent, you lose the talent. That's how that works. And while I think that every professional athlete on this planet is ludicrously overpaid, what I do know is if you cut all of those guys' money, whether it's MLB, NFL, WWE, NHL, all these guys, if you take away all their money, you slash them down to like what I would call livable money, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,000, whatever, which I think is really like they're going to try to make people live outside of the means at this point. But like if you're going to start to do that, you're going to lose talent. Those talent are going to go places where they are going to get paid. And where they are going to get paid is AEW. AEW paid Danhausen a full calendar year while he was injured. He wasn't on TV at all during that time. They will pay people. Chris Jericho was just on a Jericho cruise. He did all the tour for Fozzy. Everybody was like, oh, he's gone from there. He's going to WWE. No, Tony Khan is a smart man and he builds freezes into his contracts. So Jericho was on a freeze. That the clock wasn't expiring. It was on hold. And the second he was back, it just picked up where it left off contract-wise. Tony Khan has that in his pocket and it's working out spectacularly for him. But WWE is falling behind, and they're going to continue to fall behind. And that's just crazy. It's sad, and it's not going to pay out very well. And I've heard speculation that guys like Roman could walk at any minute. LA Knight, Bailey, I've heard they're negotiating with all of the multi-million-dollar talent. So we'll see in the coming weeks. I hope next week I don't have to say anything about WWE releases, but I have a feeling now that I've done it 2 weeks in a row on Uncharted territory that there's a chance I get a lucky third time at it, and that's just going to be sad and disappointing more than anything, right? It's just bad. Um, Me and the boys, we got tickets to TNA. It's coming to the stock show arena here in Denver in June. We're like second row. It was like $100 a seat. It was pretty fantastic. 2 nights of tapings. It'll be my third different company in a calendar year. So I saw WWE SmackDown here at Ball Arena in November. Mission Ballroom, me and my brother saw Dynamite and Collision double taping, which was incredible. Quality of that show was way better than SmackDown. SmackDown feels like a corporate run product. AEW definitely felt more like you could engage with the talent, including my brother chirping at Kyle Fletcher and Kyle giving some heat back to him. It was a great time. Seriously, those were great. And that's why I look forward to seeing what TNA is going to bring to the table. And for me, banner year for wrestling. So it's going to be great to see 3 different wrestling products and get 3 different wrestling opinions. And it'll be great to just have a night out with the boys. So when that happens in June, I'll be sure to post video and pictures of that here on YouTube so that you guys can see it, as well as on all the other socials. But you won't know that if you don't go follow them. So go on and go follow them. Now, on to my random tirade, which is what makes these things Uncharted territory to begin with, is really just that they free float. Today I have stuff written on like a receipt, because like I just had like kind of some bullets that I was like thinking about talking about. I'm going to tell you something that grinds my gears. And this is as somebody who is a collector of things, right? So like I collect, me and my brother just went through and did all this, but we did like the Topps WWE Universe cards. We did a bunch of that. I have baseball cards. I have action figures. Here, I'll kind of give a little. I have one of the Walmart shippers with all of my, yeah, like, let me fix that. See, this is where that was a clerical error. Um, Collecting things is fun, right? Collecting things, people just like people like their stuff, right? And that's not a bad thing. The problem that I have with collecting things is it's expensive anyway, right? Like, for instance, the universe cards. This is like the base package of cards. This is the cheapest pack for this set. Okay? At Target, I found these for $25. At 2 different local card shops, I found them for $35 and $45. Okay? $45 for these have 2 exclusive galaxies per box. Like, let's see if I can get an actual card. I'm pretty sure it's 6 packs at like 8 cards a pop or 7 cards a pop, something like that, right? It's not very many cards. It's really not. So $25, $35, $45 for that specific box is insane. That's just a fact. That's just nuts. And I talk to my brother about this all the time. That the value of trading cards, like when I was a kid, you can get dollar packs of cards and stuff like that. And you still can with like the MLB and stuff like that, cards that are viciously overprinted. But when they're not overprinted, they're expensive. And they get more and more expensive as you go. I coincidentally went to Magic Con in Las Vegas 2 years ago or 3 years ago now. And I watched a Black Lotus Magic the Gathering card get sold for $20,000 and was told a couple months ago while I was at a Roosevelt's meetup that that was a deal for that card. That was like primo pricing. That it could have been monumentally worse than that. That's insane. That's what I'll say about that. But anyway, the value of collector's products at this point is expensive, and that's nuts to me. Which brings me to the thing that really launches the tirade. If you're a grown person, and by grown, I'll be graceful, and I'll say if you're 25 and over, and you are rushing to places like Target to buy all their Pokemon stuff before children can collect Pokemon stuff, you are an abysmal human being. You are a skid mark on the underpants of society. You are a poopy flavored lollipop, as my dad would have said. I don't get it. You guys think this is fun? You guys are going to Targets, rampaging Targets. You're like taking like parts of the shelving that have Pokemon pictures on them just so you can go home, put all that crap on eBay, and sell it at 3 times the value. Eliminating people like my child who enjoy Pokemon from being eligible to get it. I'm not paying $99 a box for Pokemon cards on eBay when they're $20 at Target. And you guys come in and you think you're all fucking cool and just Pokemon. I gotta get all the Pokemon. Like I don't get it. And I hope that you sleep. I hope your pillow is constantly hot. Like when you flip the pillow to get the cold side of the pillow, I hope it's still just as warm as it was on the other side. I hope that you never have a soda that's fully carbonated ever again. I hope when you wipe your ass with toilet paper that your finger goes through the little, like the paper and into the dookie. That's what I hope for you because I don't get it. It's ridiculous. Sports card collecting and stuff like that, I've always felt is a little more grown up. My kid was opening baseball cards with me a couple weeks ago. He doesn't know any of the players because it's hard to watch baseball games nowadays if you don't have full cable and different MLB packages and stuff. It's hard. So like he's seen 3 televised baseball games in the last 4 years. I'm a Yankees fan. We live in Colorado. It's not often that you just get Yankees games on TV. Most of the time if I do see them, it's on like HBO Max. He doesn't care if the baseball cards sell out, but he does care about the Pokemon cards with things that he recognizes and he gets excited about. And to have grown people just rampaging through Targets, taking away the opportunities for these kids, for all kids, not just Mike, like I've seen so many TikToks and stuff of kids disappointed because they heard the new Pokemon packs were dropping and they went and there were grown adults fist fighting in aisles over Pokemon cards. Get a job. Just get a job. I have a job. This is on the side, and I don't make a dime doing this. All that stuff I just showed you on the WWE, I got the WWE shipper from a Walmart at which I work on their I set up their patio. They were throwing it away. I asked if I could have it. Like action figures. Action figures are if you get the unlimited ones, like here I have the Howdy literally right here. $40 at Walmart for the ultimate. $40. Just gonna throw stuff now out of anger. Like Wyatt 6. $75. Had I waited until they got released, I would have gotten it for 40. Point remains. It's expensive to collect things. Especially nowadays. Expensive. And to have that joy, like, I looked for so long for the Wyatt 6. I love them. Think it's a great concept. Think WWE screwed up. Didn't use them right, didn't help them out, none of that. But I looked for that box for a long time. And when I finally found it, I paid the $70 for the box because I was excited that I finally found it. These kids don't have the same outlets. They don't have the same resources. Let kids enjoy things, man. You're a 30-year-old, 35-year-old, 25-year-old, 40-year. I've seen 45-year-olds and stuff on these TikToks fighting people over Pokemon cards. If you're that person, get a job. Because you make me sick. It's just sad. It's just ridiculous. I hope that you run out of cream and sugar for your coffee and you have to drink it black. Because that'll... I hope you just don't enjoy it. I really don't. Like, it's just... I hope that a pink sock ends up in your white loads. And your clothes all have a pink hue to them. I hope you get 2 flat tires. You probably have a spare for one, but you don't have one for the second one. So, I hope that happens. Let kids enjoy things, guys. Seriously, it's nuts. I don't even get it anymore. And that, to be honest, is going to mark the end of this Uncharted territory tirade that I'm on right now. I'm going to go and we're going to get this into post-production and get it ready to upload today. And then I'm going to go enjoy some of the cold weather and spend some time with the family and make some awesome food, hopefully. And I'm going to enjoy the rest of my afternoon. At the end of this, there will be a slide that kind of pops up, or a picture that pops up that'll have all the socials that you would normally see down here. I'm just going to run another one right at the end of the video, so you can kind of get it full screen. I made like a cool entrance, like WWE entrance looking version, and it always is on the bottom of the screen, but you can't really tell what it is because it's big. So I'm going to just do a screen of it. Again, go like, follow, share, subscribe to all the socials, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, all of those. But most importantly, please subscribe to this video right now. And why don't you drop a comment of things that you collect, right? What is something that you go to the store and look for still as a grown adult, or whatever? Like, what is something that you still seek out that you're excited about? Whenever you see new ones, whenever you see something fun and exciting, what is it that excites you? Drop a comment. That'll also let me know that you watched to the end of the video, right? Drop a comment of what it is that you collect. For me, action figures. You obviously saw all of my action figures. I have some NASCARs over here. My dad and I were big NASCAR fans before my dad passed, so I have a bunch of those. I have a backpack full of Magic the Gathering cards. All of them purchased one box at a time, didn't rob anybody. And honestly, now we actually proxy stuff our group now. So like we'll print off cards. We have rules for it. Don't start criticizing now. I have some comics, not a lot of comics. Yeah, pop dolls. Got some pop dolls. Those are fun. Roosevelt's shirts. Go on. RSVLTS.com. They just did an Americana drop yesterday. They are doing Revenge of the 6th today. They did a May the 4th drop. Go and check out Roosevelt's if you really like nerdy shirts. I'm not wearing one today because I'm in my comfy clothes, as it is a beautiful, snowy Wednesday. 34 degrees here in Colorado, where I'm at in the metro area. And I'm going to go and enjoy that. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Uncharted Podcast Network, where every episode is the main event. Let's get out of here. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys later.